What do you think of that? What don't you think of that? I think that girl has got everything that she can do.
It was nothing gross. We've done that video. Spit on that thing, you get me?
We should have.
We did. We really did though. Really did.
Also, by the way, because the average lifespan has got longer, right?
Yeah.
You guys aren't considered middle-aged anymore.
But we are, according to science.
Nope.
Yeah.
Age has been gone longer, so it's been spread apart.
Yeah, but
in
it
10
starts
years
at
you'll
40,
be middle-aged.
It starts at 40 and ends at 60 middle age. Yes, and then you're
check
older.
on Google right now.
Google.
Check Google.
Hey Siri. How old do you have to be considered middle-aged?
The exact range is subject to academic debate, but the term is commonly used to denote the age range from around 40-45 to around 60-65 years.
In your face!
I saw this first, and my teacher went, I'm not middle-aged, actually because of lifelong went, and I was like,
Yeah, so just they're in denial. We're not.
That's called denial.
Yeah, we're not.
And
because denial's a river
I'm
in
not
Egypt,
being-
we all know that, yeah.
I'm not being funny, but literally, middle age, 40, yeah.
40 to 60, yeah.
80 to 90 is a good average age now. for
I
old
would say
properly
80.
plugs.
It depends. If
I'm
you,
not
if-
being funny, but literally nearly
My
all
teacher
my
wants to be
grandparents
83 when she dies.
died between the age of 65 and... Actually, my nan was well fucking old.
Yeah, so my dad's side was older, late 80s, and my mum's side, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't even
dad's
know
side
the
was
ages
both
of my
late 80s, mum's side were both 65.
my dad's side and my mum's side.
We're still alive, so don't need to worry
Your
about that yet.
grandparents are still alive on your mum's side.
Yeah.
Oh, so at least my grandparents.
You've got half a chance.
Right, please leave.
Please do.
Please leave. Before it gets...
I was trying to get ice off my
Sketchy
window, but
in
I
here.
can only get 25
Go. Thank you.
Have you hit?
Yeah, we
record?
were
Oh,
recording.
okay.
Lucius.
It needs me abusing your child. Right.
Okay.
I've got yours saved first. Do you want to do yours first? Have you got battery?
Of course I
You've got
have.
storage space. I have to check now. It's like when I leave in the morning with Harry, I'm like, have you got your pass? Have you got your pass? Yes, I'd say, oh, I forgot my pass. I'm like,
No comment.
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah. That was well funny, that clip you showed me. I mean, we are hilarious. It's just got to be said, isn't it?
Just need the world to wake up and recognise
Yes. Yeah.
the talent they're missing out on.
Recognize. What?
That?
What?
That?
What?
That?
What? Yay?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Did you see the TikTok that I sent last?
where you did the photos together.
No, the TikTok that I want to. That's the next one we need to do.
On what?
On Insta, on us.
Down it, down it, down it. There you go.
No.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Piece.
No drama. Easy. You pick the easy ones. So when we done the...
Yeah, but they're effective as well, though, aren't they?
They are good. But when we done the...
I don't know how
I'm
we-
glad you got here when you did TikTok that most of you have probably seen. How long did that take us? About 2 hours?
10 hours later.
Yeah, because I had watched a tutorial on how to stop and start the video as you're doing the video, like in little sections. So I know. So I was like, no, we're not doing it how we normally do it. We're doing it this way. So we kept stopping, and then we were like, how many photos is that? I mean, it went on and on, didn't it?
So many photos.
But it was so
it was
funny.
very good.
Yeah.
we've had quite a lot of
feedback
from it. Everybody has loved it, which we really appreciate.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we had a lot. I've been wanting to do it for what?
Ever.
Yeah, I'm going to say about a month after we started the podcast. Do you know that we are on episode 29?
Yes, I know, because I put them together.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, look how far we've gone and how quick it's happened, and we're still having like a blast.
Yes, because we're not boring.
I don't think we're boring. I think
Yeah,
we're hilarious.
boring.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I listen back and I'm like, and then I'm like, is it pathetic that I'm laughing at my own jokes? And I'm like, I do that anyway.
No.
Nobody cares.
I mean, if we ain't laughing, who's gonna?
Exactly. We need to.
We need
to
know.
big up ourselves. Big up, London massive. Brap, brap. That person hates it. Brap, brap. Right. Anyway. Okay. London massive. I do this.
Gun fingers.
No, you're doing gun, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I doing?
Massive.
Oh, that's massive.
That's Spider-Man.
I'm doing Spider-Man.
And then we've got air guitar.
And then we've got in the bowl of fish. And then we got mashed potatoes.
Big fish, small fish, cardboard box.
Big fish, yeah. And then the robot, which I never quite
Feeding
mastered.
the pigeons.
Oh, we're feeding.
Feeding the pigeons.
And then, what's that one?
Pointing finger.
Yeah.
To the sky.
To the sky! London must have! Okay.
Anyway.
Right.
Now you know
moving
all
on.
Now you know all our dance moves.
You don't even... We're out on the 28th if anyone wants to join us for the mashed potato. Right.
That's a true story though. 28th December.
Yes.
We will be in Wimbledon if you care to join.
If you care. And we'll be listening to DJ Fry. We're very excited because he's awesome. He's Spider-Man.
Wicked.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Right. Anyway, moving on.
Number one fans.
We are like the number one fans.
I've got a foam finger. We should take those.
Oh my god, bring the foam fingers. It's us. It's us. Not that you could tell.
I've been barging other girls out the way. I'm like, we are with the
Yeah,
DJ.
we're clearly number one fans. Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Not sorry.
Not sorry. Right. Hello everyone and welcome to Middle Aged Opinion. I'm your host Ellie.
And I'm Emily. And today we are looking at Let's Not Meet.
Let's not.
From what I have found, it pretty much is summing up weird, strange things that have happened to people where people have been stalked.
Yeah.
Or like just bizarre out of
meeting
control
weirdos.
shit has happened.
Yeah.
And like you never again. No
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Some great films. Some great films. Some of these should be films.
Some of them should be films.
Some great stories.
Before we get onto it, you know, you must have heard about it. The woman in America that kind of like tied up her kids and they were starving. Jonah 8. It was all over social media. They were famous YouTubers. They had their own YouTube channel, and then I'll show you after, but into the I'm bringing it up for a reason for anyone that's following along. They later on, she kind of separated from her husband and she went with the therapist that was part of the church that they belonged to. I want to say they're Mormons. And long story short, the husband moved out and her and this woman were abusing the children horrifically. It's a horrific story of what happened. The two older ones, people on the internet, the two older children were reporting them to CPS and all of that stuff. I mean, there's a whole thing about it. But already, this was a couple of months ago, this year, and they're already bringing out a movie. So if you guys, anyone that's following along with the case, Google the case, you'll see that they're actually already, Netflix are putting together a whole movie based on what we know.
Why did no one
now.
make a movie on me?
They might later on.
I feel like, I ain't released my story yet.
Yeah, nor have I. We want a movie. Who's going to play you?
Oh, I don't know.
I like Selena Gomez for me.
Yeah, but that fit kind of she could fit your profile, but
Only because I
Who would
just
fit
think
me?
she's so sweet. I think Taylor Swift for you.
no, thank you.
Oh, don't you like Taylor?
Don't you think she's got enough money?
Whoa! Let's not hate on Taylor
I'm
Swift.
not hating on her. Good luck to the girl.
Yeah, but so is Selena Gomez.
No, I don't fit her profile. No, she's no.
Okay.
No.
Who then?
I don't know. A bit girl next doorsy, like a little bit. I don't know.
We're now finding out how Emily sees herself. Apparently, I think I look like Selena Gomez.
No, you don't. But she fits your profile, like.
For me, that's not the reason. For me,
could.
she's just, as a celebrity, she's just such a sweet, nice person. And I commend that.
I'm just not into celebrities.
Right, so if anyone's got any ideas who will play Emily in her movie, do write in. Head over to our Reddit, Middle Aged Opinion, and let us
Jessica
know.
Alba, I like her.
Who?
Jessica Alba.
Why does that ring a bell? I can't think.
She's Incredible 4, the girl in that.
She's so
I love
sweet.
her.
Yeah, she's sweet.
She's a great celebrity.
Yeah. For me, like, I used to think, what's his name? Deadpool's wife in real life.
Blake
Blake
what's her
Lively.
face? Yeah.
Whereas now I don't like her anymore.
Oh,
She's ruined it for me.
I really like them as a couple and the way they banter with each other on social and their whole persona they give out as a couple. I'm not sure
I liked her
of
up until
her as an individual.
I liked her up until all this stuff came out about her, and then when she's just done this movie about domestic violence, she's just horrible. She's like, what do you want me to do? Give him my home address? That's not what the question was.
I did watch that.
The question is, what do you think the role's given you that you can, you know, relate to people that have been in it? And I don't know this whole stuck up thing, but she clearly has never been in a situation where her life's in danger in her entire life, and that's great.
Yeah, but clearly she hasn't taken anything away from
Exactly, playing the role.
playing that experience.
Right, and I
either.
think if you can't be sympathetic to women that have been in, women and men.
She just gave out that she
I
wasn't
just
much
didn't
of a
like
girl's
it.
girl.
She's I used to love them.
And I love them as a couple. I do like their whole dynamic as a couple is lovely.
She's put me right off, mate.
But as an individual, it's questionable.
Yeah, it really disappointing, because up until all that stuff came out, I was like, oh, I love her, she's so lovely. So you killed that for me, girl. Anyway.
Okay, so let's not meet. I'm going to start, right?
You go.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
I
she's
have
not.
noticed that quite a lot of my stories were mildly long.
I've got some long ones, especially my
I've lost
first
it. Where'd
one.
it go?
You deleted it.
No, hang on.
I've saved 4 in case
Got it.
we've got the same.
You say 4.
Just in case.
So my first one, my best friend's boyfriend turned out to be a murderer.
As you do.
Standard procedure.
As you do, yeah. Sounds normal at this point.
It does,
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
doesn't it?
Just completely normal.
Nothing can surprise us.
No.
Right. Oh, hang on. I've got to do my little zooming thingy.
Yeah. We're old, yeah, so we need zoomies.
Although my eldest son did try to tell us that we weren't middle-aged anymore.
Yeah, and I proved him wrong.
I mean, I'm not sure if he was trying to be sweet or...
I think his point is that his teacher said to him, I'm not middle-aged because apparently we live longer now, and the teacher's in denial because it's 40 to 60 and that is what is classed as middle-age, so we have just hit middle-age.
Oh my God,
I feel like we're all right with it.
I'm so alright with it.
I feel like
best year.
we've made the whole podcast about it, so...
It's good.
Yeah.
Right, my best friend's boyfriend turned out to be a murderer. Dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
When I was about 19 or 20, my very best friend in the world was dating this guy. He was really cute, funny and sweet. Oh, they always are.
They always are until they
murder someone.
kill and eat your friend.
I stayed with her at her apartment a lot, and he used to always come over and hang out. He lived with his great grandmother, who was really super strict. Even though he was 18, she gave him a curfew, and if he was late, she would lock him out or call the law on him.
Sounds like a bitch. Still no reason to kill and eat people.
Hang on, we ain't got there. We're not there yet.
Sorry.
So he always had to be home by at least like 10 p.m. Anyways, one night I was at her house and we were drinking and playing cards and stuff. He came running through the door at like 9 p.m. saying he had gotten into a fight. We didn't think anything of it really because he wasn't exactly a golden boy and it wasn't all that surprising. But after about 12 a.m. rolled around, we were all like, damn, your grandma is letting you stay out late. He ended up telling us that she was asleep and had locked him out. Again, we didn't think much of it. Happened all the time.
He killed grandma.
Oh shit. Late on the next day, I ended up going home. My friend called me that night crying her fucking eyes out, telling me to look on Jail Tracker.
Mate.
I got on there and looked, and underneath his mugshot it said murder. I was literally shocked, like, what the fuck? Who the fuck did he murder? I was just there. Turns out when he came and bursted through the door, he had just mangled his great grandmother. Mangled his great grandmother to death with a hammer.
As you do.
He sat there and drank with us, played cards with us, and acted like nothing had ever happened. After everyone had left, he ended up telling my friend what he had done. She acted like she was going to run off with him. She went in her room and acted like she was packing up her bags, snuck in the bathroom and called the police. It was really scary and traumatizing for all of us, for real. But especially her, ending up getting sentenced like 50 years or something like that. He tried to escape about 4 years after his sentencing, and they added on even more time. So I doubt I will ever be seeing him again. Anyways, that's been ages ago, but I randomly stumbled across this sub and it made me think of that.
I think it's devastating what he went through. The disturbing part for me is that he was able to carry on as normal, like sit down, play cards, eat and all that. That is disturbing. But
could you imagine like someone, oh my god, I just had a fight, and we were like, yeah, that's normal, come on in.
Yeah.
He's just stacking cards.
But I think what's upsetting is what he got to a point where he was like, my only escape is to kill her. And now he's in jail all over again, but a different kind of jail.
I mean, why did he kill her?
I don't know.
I wish we had a reason here. She's strict, okay? And the kid's 18, and at that point, let's face it, I'm assuming this is America. But
there's probably more to it.
Once you've hit 18, you can leave.
You can, but I think there's probably more to it than we're aware. Like I say, the most disturbing part from me, it's not even that he killed her, right? Which obviously I don't agree with. The most disturbing part.
No to killing.
Yeah. And eating people. I keep thinking of Jeffrey Dahmer, you know, where he eats it. And then the woman goes, I'm not eating that. In the sandwich. She's actually got human people in. He goes, you want a sandwich? She goes, I'm not eating that. He goes, why? Don't you like me? But yeah, I feel like it's quite disturbing that he was able to be like, oh, hi guys, snap. It's weird. It's not weird that he was able to carry on. I find that quite strange, and I feel sorry for him, but at the same time I don't. Does that make sense?
I mean, murder is extreme, isn't it?
It's extreme. So that's what I'm saying. What point do you get to where you're like, no, there's no escape?
Would definitely more options before murder.
There's always more options, but when you're in that moment, there are no other options.
He had a hammer. What moment was he in?
I don't know. Was it premeditated? Was it spur of the I just spat
Spare
everywhere.
of the
Spare of
moment.
the moment.
I've just got my hammer.
I got my hammer. I'm not eating that.
The top comment was, I can't imagine the composure your friend must have kept to pretend she was getting ready to run away with him while trying to find a way to discreetly phone the police. I'm glad to know he got arrested, and I hope you guys were able to recover from this as well. It sounds so chilling.
Yeah.
And then she...
It is.
For real! Bless her. Hugs for you all.
He should have just left, but it's not as easy as that. It really isn't. OP.
OP's messaged back saying, yeah, it was a big ordeal. It definitely made me look at people much differently. She wasn't the same for a long time afterwards.
Fair play.
He tried contacting her from jail and everything, and she kept having to change her numbers. It was crazy. He kept telling her when he got out he was going to hunt her down because he still wanted to be with her. She had a hard time finding someone to be with her for a while after that, because every time she liked someone, they were afraid to get close to her because he was still so obsessed with her. I don't want to mention his name on here, but you can probably search it on Google. It happened in, and she says where.
Then yeah, he's definitely mentally ill, isn't he? If he's like,
I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like I want to look that up just so that I can get some sort of clarity on
and
how
distance
we
between
got.
you and him.
Well, how did we get to this
I
point?
feel like you should look it up.
I just looked it up. Holy shit, that's insane. I'm glad your friend is okay. That's not helpful, is it?
No.
Glad you looked it up. He's up for parole in 8 years from now.
2032.
Parole's then, but he's supposed to be 2057.
It's sad. The whole thing's sad. I don't know what gets someone to the point where... Are we ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is a longer one. I've read it all the way through. I enjoyed it, so hopefully you will too.
Okay.
Okay. A roommate situation that turned into a nightmare. I'm French.
Okay.
It says that, yeah?
I'm French.
I am French. Bonjour, je m'appelle Michel.
All right, moving on.
Your mum.
That's sake.
Okay. My name is Jules, and this story happened in 2022. At the time, I was a business school student. Are they killing each other?
No, he's there.
Oh. But my English skills left much to be desired. To improve, I decided to take a gap year and move to Toronto, Canada, for an intensive language course. Since the costs were high, I found a shared apartment with other students. It had 3 bedrooms and one was still empty, waiting for another student to move in. My roommate, Sandro, was a Swiss German, tall, almost 2 meters and 120 kilos, but also very friendly. We quickly became friends. A few weeks later, Sandro told me he was going on a week-long trip through Canada national parks. He was set to leave on the Saturday morning, while I had been informed that the new student would arrive the same day around 3 p.m. Sandro left the apartment at 10 a.m, leaving me alone to wait for the new arrival. Hours went by, 3 p.m, 4 p.m, 8 p.m, 10 p.m. Still no one. I grabbed a bite to eat, watched a show on Netflix, and eventually decided to go to bed. Around midnight, I suddenly awakened by knocks on the apartment door. I heard someone coming in. That must be the new student, I thought to myself, before hearing an unfamiliar voice explaining the apartment's layout. I stayed in my room, too tired to go out, and fell back to sleep. But a few minutes later, there was a knock on my door, once and then a second time. 10 minutes later, thinking there might be a problem, I eventually got up. I found myself face to face with a young Japanese woman around the age of 25 years old. I quickly explained a few details about the apartment. We exchanged Instagram handles, and then each of us went back to our rooms for the night. In the following days, she often asked me to accompany her when taking the bus or subway. I grudgingly helped, showing her to the stops and the good spots for getting around, and then returned to my routine between classes and gym sessions. But grudgingly, sometimes something strange started to happen. Every evening when I came back, she would always be talking to me, either by message or when we bumped into each other in the apartment. The situation became increasingly heavy. Then, one evening while laying in bed, I noticed a figure standing on the shared balcony right in front of my bedroom window. She was leaning against the rails, staring at me. Her gaze was piercing and unsettling. When she realised I had seen her, she quickly turned away and went back into her room. I shivered, but tried to convince myself that it was just a coincidence. Later, around midnight, as I turned off the lights to fall asleep, I gazed out the window. She was still there, standing and watching me. Our eyes met again and she vanished instantly. The scene repeated itself the following nights. Every evening I would catch her watching me from the balcony, always at the same time, always with the fixed glazed. And every time she disappeared as soon as she realised that I had noticed her. But the night before my departure, the situation took an even more disturbing turn. One morning I had to get up particularly early for an appointment. It was around 5:30 a.m. when I left my room. The entire apartment was shrouded in darkness except the faint light filtering from under the bathroom door where I was brushing my teeth. Suddenly I heard a noise behind me. The young woman emerged from her room, silence in her footsteps, softly encroaching on the wooden door. She knew I was in there. She had seen the light from under the door. I froze, a chill ran down my spine. There I was in my underwear, toothbrush in hand, wondering what she wanted. But instead of turning back, she opened the bathroom door and came in, sat on the closed toilet facing me. She didn't say a word. She just sat there, motionless, her gaze locked onto mine with a blank, almost expressionless stare. The scene dragged on for so long. Each second, the silence grew. Then I slowly gathered myself and left the room, closing the door behind me. I returned to my room very slowly, trying to show that I didn't understand what was going on, but her English was too poor for us to have a proper conversation. In the days that followed, I became increasingly cautious, watching her every move, but she continued to observe me every evening from the balcony like a disturbed shadow in the night, until one night before my departure, things took an even more terrifying turn. I was having dinner in my room and I saw her again through the window, staring intensely inside. I looked away, hoping that she would leave. Then later that night, around 3 a.m, I woke up suddenly from a nightmare. I turned my head and there she was, still on the balcony, with her eyes fixed wide open on me. My blood ran cold this time. She didn't look away. She remained motionless like a statue. Then abruptly she turned and started running inside the apartment. My heart pounded. I rushed to lock my door and I buried myself underneath the covers, hoping it was all just a bad dream. A few seconds later, I heard footsteps behind my door, then an attempt to open it, gently at first, then more vigorously. She was pressing on the handle, trying to get into my room. Panicked, I remained still, holding my breath, and then everything went silent again. I heard nothing more. She must have gone back to her room, but the night felt endless. I returned to France the next day, so was no longer in the apartment. I think she was just fixated to see a European. After all, I don't have a typical build, especially not for a Japanese person. I can bench press over 150 kilos. Hee. Anyway, I also thought she might have been looking for an adventure with me or trying to steal my passport. Take care, everyone. This story is entirely true. I still have the address of the apartment and the college can be looked up. What do you think?
Mimic is what came into my head.
You think she's a mimic?
It just came into my head.
Because she was so weird.
Because she was like watching her.
Can you imagine that?
This is your
Living
fault that was where
somewhere.
I went to.
Yeah. I mean, that's really fucking weird.
I mean, initially I was also thinking, why have you not got curtains? Like, close the curtains on your window.
And why don't you say, bitch, fuck off?
Yeah. Why are we being polite to this?
Yeah, I don't really understand why you wouldn't say, stop looking at me, you're freaking me out, weirdo.
Yeah.
And then Google can translate that for anyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy about that.
No.
I would not be happy. I can't see any. Oh no, we do have one. So it's not the top comment, it's the second one. You should have told her off. Express staring and stalking you. Tell the apartment staff creepy. Yes, you're right, but I was at the end of the week, so I wouldn't have the problem for much longer. Yeah, just people like that's really weird. It is really weird. I don't think it's anything to do with the barrier. I think she's a weirdo.
Yeah, like
in any country around the world, surely the common misconception between humans is that you don't stand outside people's windows watching them. I feel like that translates into every single language, don't you? I feel like that's not even a barrier.
Yeah, it just isn't the standard thing.
It's really not the standard. I think from here all the way around the world it is the standard. Let's not all stare in people's windows
in the middle of the night
watching someone. No, it's really not the dumb thing.
Or walk into their rooms, or when they're in the bathroom.
Yeah, that was weird. Imagine like brushing your teeth and some rando walks in. I'd be like, you alright, bruv? The fact that he didn't say
anything.
Every time I have a fizzy, yeah, the fact that he didn't say anything, or does that just make us bullshit?
Maybe, I mean, it was a he?
Yeah, he was a he. The other
Maybe,
flatmate was and she was a young woman.
Maybe he didn't want to come across like being aggressive towards her because she's like a little woman.
Girl walked in the bathroom. He could have been using the facilities.
Well, he was brushing his gnashers.
Yeah, but you know what I'm
underwear
saying.
On.
It's unacceptable for me. Straight away, I'd be like, "You all right? What's going on?"
The only time that is even nearly acceptable is if like you're actually pals.
And if
that you talk to each other,
and if someone was standing outside my window,
no, that's
straight away I'd say, move away from my window, you weirdo, you're freaking me out. And then if
got some curtains,
and if they continued, I'd call the police. I wouldn't be able to tolerate that. No. I don't care what the circumstances. That would freak me out far too much. Okay, over to you, darling.
You're right.
Every time I have fizzy, I'm like, ugh.
Right. An empty house.
Okay.
For context, at this time, I was being pimped out by my partner.
Let me just find it.
Yeah,
I'm finding it. I'm finding it. Okay.
Right, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Relax.
Okay.
It was early night time and I was getting ready for work. There were ads posted for me on a couple different sites and we had snagged what we thought could be a big fish. I messaged this John for about half an hour before agreeing on a house call. The house was completely across the city in a very wealthy neighbourhood. The John told me to let him know when I arrived he was working on his PC in an upstairs bedroom. My partner and I got into the car and drove to the address provided. He always waited nearby while I worked. But when we arrived to this house, we both felt uneasy. I messaged the John once I was in the driveway to no response. I got out and started to approach the door, and my partner came with me. The door was large and made of heavy wood, with a fancy frosted glass window in the centre. When I knocked, I realised it was ajar. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up as I slowly pushed the door open wide. The interior of the house confused me further. I was faced with a short hallway leading into a grand living space. There was a beautiful fireplace in the centre, complete with a crackling fire. To my left, I noticed a dark doorway. The strangest of all was the lack of furniture. From the front door, where I stood, I could see nearly the entire living room. There wasn't even a single chair, no photos on the wall, nothing but the fire in the fireplace. I stood frozen in the doorway. My partner stepped past me into the house. I started to flee, but curiously and fear kept me locked in place. He stepped forward and looked into the doorway to the left. He recoiled a bit and shouted, "Hello? Hello?" He turned to me and shoved me out the doorway, and at that point I found my legs again and sprinted to the car. We drove in stunned silence for a moment until we stopped at an all-night pharmacy. I asked softly what was in the room. He said very slowly, "An air mattress with 2 people on it, sleeping, I hope."
Fucks up. I don't like it. No.
So this grand house, no furniture, just a fire right there in the main bed, like big room.
And 2 random people.
And then you look to the side and there's a room with an air mattress with 2 bodies on it.
No. You'd see one of those fucking hole-shaped figures in the walls as I pelted it out of there.
Top comment is, "I'm still running." I'd still be running.
That would be me.
OP said, "I was shaking sitting in the pharmacy parking lot."
No. I'd already be at home.
They then respond to that. Oh, get off. "Well, I'm glad you got out of there safely. That may be an incident I try and forget about. Dwelling on what might have been won't do you any good." She said, "Thank you. I'm currently in therapy."
I'd be in therapy.
Shit. I mean.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's horrible.
Where was John?
John
Who
left
was
her.
John?
John
No,
left
John
her.
was the guy that he was the job.
I just don't know why they're there in at some random abandoned house on a fucking air mattress.
I would have called the police. Like,
And maybe she got the address wrong.
I went here thinking I was meeting someone, and I walked into this. Just letting you know.
In case there was a more sinister.
Yeah. Like, if there's no furniture in there, obviously people aren't living there.
Yeah, no.
Ugh.
I feel like people need to go back to how it used to be when you meet people like normally. I do. Do you know how many times like I hear stories about like some bird and he's killed her or she's done this and they're all fucking psychopaths? No thanks. Just meet people like you used to meet. Like when they're a little bit drunk, you kind of get a good little view of what's going on there, don't you? No thanks.
Who to avoid?
Yeah. just men in general at this point, isn't it?
I feel like that is the only option.
Fuck's sake. Right,
Ugh.
ready?
Yeah.
The Creeper Peeper. This story takes place around January 2024, and I, female 22, live on 1-floor house with a basement, no attic. So like a bungalow, I suppose. No second floor. I suffer with extreme sleep paralysis. All the sleep issues I have: sleep talking, walking. I sleep with my eyes open. I snore. She repeats herself. I sleep with my eyes open, which she's already said, and have sleep paralysis. My sister, who was working late for a few nights, and I was sleeping on her bed since I had just had the flu and was extremely hot. It had snowed for a few days, so there was snow all around. Well, that night I have my usual wake up before my body does, and all that before I see him. So all the sleep paralysis and all that, and then she sees him. Not a shadow demon in the corner, just a man standing outside. It's scary, and I was terrified until I was able to get up. It was the next morning when my dog had to go to the bathroom as usual, and I looked outside of my window, and beneath were 2 footprints. The thing about my windows are, since the basement goes up for a bit, because the house is a sectional 2 half-made whole house. I don't really know what that means, but whatever. My window is nearly 7 foot from the floor. And this guy was close to the top of the window. So I gathered my dog, called my stepfather from his room, and had to show him the footprints. I locked the windows that day and slept in another room. He never came back, but it was just so terrifying. What do you think about that?
So there was just someone watching her.
Yeah, that was like, so she's saying, what I'm visualising is, you know, I think it's America, and I think, you know, some of the houses where you can see the top of the basement windows.
Yeah.
So then the house is slightly higher than the ground level, meaning her windows are at 7 feet, and some rando is almost 7 feet watching her from the outside sleeping.
It's a tall man.
Yeah. That's a hell no. So top comment is, that's terrifying. And she says, to be honest, that isn't the weirdest thing I have experienced in my life. She doesn't go on to say what, but that is terrifying. Especially when you think it's just one of your dreams, and then you see the footprints.
There's actual footprints.
There's actual
2
footprints.
feet. Just
Yeah. Why doesn't anyone in these stories have curtains? I've got curtains. Yeah, I mean, they'd have to be super. If they can get up here, I say let them in.
Yeah. There was a guy
I'd say
standing at my window.
Yeah.
I'd be like, mate.
I'd say let them in at that point, because that's
The effort.
the effort.
The effort.
The effort they went to kill you. Yeah.
Give him a chance.
Yes. Unlock the window.
Unlock the window. Cheers, babe.
Well, listen, it's nice if he's going to go to all that effort, isn't it? Least you can do is open the window. Yeah, fuck that.
That's a no.
Yeah, it's a no from me as well.
I mean, I don't know, in my head I've got this picture of her house and actually being really woody area.
So do I.
And I'm thinking like, this isn't actually a man. Like, that's sort of where my head, again, I'm hanging around with you too much.
It's probably not a man. There's not. Okay, so there's quite a lot of 6'4", 6'5" men.
Yeah.
But none that are almost 7 foot
like
tall.
7 foot is
fucking tall.
I mean, there's probably more in America than there are.
Probably a lot of baseball players and all of that sort of thing.
Basketball players.
There you go. Potato for me. But you're right.
They're not.
Completely different.
Completely different.
But the thing is, why was he standing and watching? What is with these people watching?
Yeah, these,
like that girl, and then this, like, just watching someone. You know, there's TV, like Netflix is all right at the minute. You've got Disney Plus, Hulu, what else? Prime. There's so much to watch.
I've just watched all of Victoria. I really enjoyed
Oh,
it.
have you finished it?
Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't finished it.
I really enjoyed
I'm still on
it.
series 2.
Young Victoria I want to watch now. 'Cause maybe
Young
I should watch that
Victoria.
first. Yeah.
What's that on Netflix?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I just watched the girl that goes on the game show and she chooses
Yeah.
Bachelor number 3.
Women of the Hour.
Yes.
Watch that as well.
Yeah, I thought
Watched
that was
it.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
And it was some girl that pretended that she was fine with what he had done.
Yeah.
That got him
Saved
caught.
everyone.
Yeah. Well, they reckon up to 103, don't
I
they?
know.
As you do.
But was convicted for 7. Can you put just 7?
If you can't prove it,
7's still a lot.
they probably just got all the missing women from the area and were like, I wonder if it was men as well though, because he took some pictures of the men, didn't he?
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. He was fucking creepy.
I forgot his name.
I want to say Dylan or
Yeah.
No, not Dale.
Weirdo.
Yeah, just a very.
Yeah, I did not like that. Okay, over to you. No.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was like, did I just read? I did.
did. Creeper beats on my door and turns Ring camera off. Do you want that one?
That's why I say 4.
Go on. You can have it because I've got a different one.
No, go on.
Sure?
Yeah.
Sure. So, this happened a few years ago, but it stuck with me because of how weird and scary it was. So every year for the past few years, my parents have been going on a week-long anniversary trip, leaving me home alone. I was 20, so it was more than an appropriate age. Well, unless you were the guy with the granny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Then it's not appropriate.
Get your hammer out.
Yeah.
Well, this time around, some weird shit happened the first day that they were gone, and then this happened the night before they were supposed to come home. The first day they were gone, a guy came to the door to drop something off in the morning, but I didn't want to answer it, so as it was a stranger and I thought he'd just leave it at the door like usual. Well, he stayed for about 5 minutes and then got in his car and started to drive off, to which I went outside because I thought he had finally left it. This man got out of his car, leaving it in the middle of the road just to give me my package that I didn't have to sign for at all. No signature needed or anything. Wasn't dressed like a delivery person, was in a beat up car, very weird and uncomfy. Skip to the end of the week. I was just chilling out in my living room, and all of a sudden at 11 at night I see this rather large figure approach my front door. The glass is dimpled so you can't see features but just a silhouette, and starts banging on the door, and he did so for like a minute straight. He stands there and doesn't leave for probably 10 minutes, and in that time beats on the door a few times over. Luckily, my sister and her family live not even a mile away from me, so I call them and her husband comes to get me. By this time, I'm in full panic mode and I realise that my dogs are in the backyard. My back door is 90% glass and I was horrified that this person was going to come through the back gate and try to come into the house as my dogs were barking up a storm. Anyways, I get my dogs inside the house and my brother-in-law finally shows up, and whoever was there was gone. He takes me to my sister's house and we check the front door cameras to see who was there. The cameras had been turned off the whole time this person was there, and for an hour before he started banging on the door. The cameras had been on before that time period, and during the time we were looking at the cameras, they were somehow shut off for about an hour and a half, which was odd because they're not the type that need to be charged and they had never glitched before then, but were actually very sensitive. To this day, I don't know who it was that showed up at Tension House. I checked the local news and everything, but nothing ever come out of it. I don't know if they were trying to rob my house, or if they had other plans, or if it was potentially the delivery guy from earlier that week, but it still freaks me out to think about, and I hate being home alone at night because of it.
I think they had other intentions.
I think other intentions.
Yeah, I feel like they switched off the cameras and they had bad intentions. Possibly was the delivery guy, but I don't feel like that's so strange, because a lot of, depending on what you're delivering, if you just like you do it as a side hustle, whatever, there isn't like Uber and all that. There's no uniform to that. But I don't know what America's like.
No.
But I feel like it was sinister. When I read it, I was like, it's the whole camera thing.
The second one, definitely.
Yeah. The whole camera thing was like...
Yeah.
Because the guy driving off could have just seen you in the rear view mirror and been like, oh.
Yeah.
Rather than taking it
so
back.
I don't have to come back to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like it could have been that.
That's where I went with that.
Yeah.
But the second one with the cameras, it's the cameras that make me feel like something sinister.
Yeah, but how would they do that?
I don't know.
Because in my head also, maybe it was something to do with that guy, and maybe whatever is in that parcel had something on it that glitched.
Maybe
Tech?
like a blocker.
Yeah, that sort of
Yeah.
was like, oh,
There
hang on
is,
a minute.
you know, Chipstead Valley Road. There's one spot on there when you go past and your signal goes completely. I believe they've got a blocker in their house.
I think, I'll go down a couple of parts.
It's literally one section in between some houses, and I'm like, definitely weird.
Yeah. So people were literally just saying, you should have reported this.
Yeah.
Report it, you still can. Weirdo, hope karma gets that predator.
Just so there's a note of the strange behaviour. I mean, they won't do anything, but if something else happens, then at least they'll be like...
It says most doorbell cameras are connected by Wi-Fi, and they are simple devices which can jam the signal unless you have a hardware camera, which is rare. Hardwired camera, which is what I've got.
Yeah, so perhaps he
about.
had the thingy bob on him.
Yeah, the jammers. No, because they said it went off for an hour before he knocked. Unless he literally was lurking about that long.
For an hour. That's what's in my head. He was there for over an hour. 100%. Mine's hardwired, but also connected to the internet, so it could jam.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah, horrible.
Right, am I finishing us off with this? Okay. Creepy naked guy stole my pizza.
I did
You did it, yeah. Did you read it?
I skimmed through it.
Yeah. This happened
I just liked it.
Yeah, I liked it as well. I mean, the title drew me in, and then I read it and I was like, it's a good story. This happened a few hours ago, and I'm not scared anymore, just angry. My pizza got stolen. Now, I would be exactly the same. I'd be like, my pizza, bitch.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
In my town, there's a story that a guy has moved into the deep woods, close to the town. I've never believed it, as I go for night drives occasionally and never saw him or anything resembling a man that lives in the woods. Anyway, tonight I decided to go for a drive and drove past the pizza place. Being hungry, I decided to get a pizza before I went home. In my head, I had a plan to eat pizza and play some Minecraft as I'm in my 2-week Minecraft phase at the moment. I paid for my pizza and started walking back to my car with the pizza in one hand and my phone in the other. My other hand was messaging my friends if he wanted to play some Minecraft when I got home. I looked up from my phone to cross the road to the car park, and I see something under my car. It looks like a shadow or something dark. I put my phone in my pocket and pulled out my keys as I unlocked the car to scare off anything close to the car. I was thinking it may be a dog or a cat. No cat running away and nobody running away. The shadow looked like it was cast from the driver's side, so I was going to have a look at what it was, whether I wanted to or not. I put my keys away and pulled my phone again and turned the flashlights on to see better in the dark. As I turned towards the driver's side of the car, I see a dirty, naked guy with big eyes staring right at me. He was crouched down, trying to hide from me. Now, I don't usually get scared or anything, but this guy scared me. He looked like he had rolled around in the mud and it had dried out all in his skin. His eyes looked creepy, bloodshot and kind of buggly. One of his heads, and he was naked. I get startled and jump backwards out of instinct, dropping my pizza in the process. It falls out of the box onto the floor. I start moving back slowly and shout at him to get away from my car. He looked up at me, then at the pizza and back at me. He tilts his head to one side and then jumps towards the pizza like a dog, grabbing it, and started running away down the road, and I assume he ran all the way to the woods. I wouldn't know where he went, as I didn't feel like following him. I locked my car and ran back to the pizza place and stayed there for a bit. The workers obviously didn't believe me when I told them what had happened, but I know what I saw.
We're getting a free pizza out of them.
He was not. Once the fear had subsided after a while, I realised that the guy had stolen my pizza. Angry as I looked forward to it, decided to get another pizza and run to my car this time. I get my pizza on the passenger seat and go home. Once I got home, I locked all my doors and windows. I even locked my bedroom door, as I feel a little scared still. I think I'm playing Minecraft until the sun comes up. Creepy, dirty, naked guy that lives in the wood close to my town. I never want to see you again because I may have to fight you for stealing my pizza. Fucking hell. Go on. What do you think?
I mean, I think I would have acted the same.
I think I would have acted the same.
Like, I would have been scared.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's a naked guy next to my car.
Yeah.
Like, got
I
the
would have
keys in my
shouted, get
hands,
away. I would have
like,
been
go
gutted.
away.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to that all night.
And then I think I'd probably be like, hey, come back.
Yeah, give me my
Like,
pizza.
go away, come back, go away. Like, real mixed messages.
But once the pizza hit the floor, it was done anyway.
But, you know, 3-second rule and stuff.
No. It hit the floor outside. It's not indoors in the kitchen, is it? That's honestly terrifying. Also, I'd be super pissed that the bastard stole my pizza. Did they at least replace it for you, or did they charge you for another one? He says got charged.
They didn't believe him. Why would they?
He literally went straight back to the thingy bob, so it would have been 5 minutes unless they thought he was just trying it because he got a pizza from someone else. But of course they charged him. That's it.
Mate.
That's it, my darling.
Well,
right.
There we are.
So that is the end of podcast 1 for today. I feel like you should get up.
Thanks, guys. Like,
Follow
and subscribe
for more content.
for more content.
But if you don't, we're going to do more content anyway.
Yeah, we're still going to do it.
Yeah, we're going to do
you
it.
know, you might as well just have us like there ready
Yeah.
for the next one.
And then it
rather
will
than
notify
trying to-
you and say they've done another one.
Woohoo! Get on board.
Yes, get on board. Yeah, that's it.